Kyle got me a life-size dog, life-size human-sized dog bed for Christmas, and it's been the best, especially in my office for midday nap. Okay, so I have not filmed any new videos in a while, probably since the fall. I had this whole plan on like a ton of new topics that I wanted to film and share more information with you about, you know, everything that's going on, especially with business stuff. And I think like just with the holidays and everything we were doing ended up getting put on the back burner. But here we are with another installment of all my videos. I don't know, I don't have a name for the series, but I did want to talk about a few things specifically for new grads. So newly graduated physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, chiropractors. If you are in the healthcare field and you just recently graduated, you know, and you're out like either like looking for a job, or you are currently in your first job and like you are sort of like hearing about starting your own practice and you're just like not really sure. Today I wanted to talk about 3 reasons why you might be ready to start your own practice. So I know like when it comes to starting a business, you are probably never gonna feel ready. Just like plain and simple, you're never gonna feel 100% ready to do the thing. And I think a lot of that comes from just like not being super familiar with business as a whole. I know in my physical therapy program, I remember having one business class and it was okay. Shout out to Margaret. But I feel like looking back now and looking at what we talked about in that class, it wasn't super applicable to at least what I know now about business and how I choose to conduct my business. It's almost completely irrelevant, which like it really sucks to say, you know, and I don't mean it in like a mean way or a negative way. Like the class was put together the best it could be put together for that particular like style of business, but there's so many different ways that you can start your own business and start working for yourself now, that is something that I'm really passionate about sharing. And I know for a lot of us, when we're thinking about getting started, it can be really scary just because there's so many unknowns out there. So I wanted to say, you know, these are the 3 things that I might consider looking for and identifying within yourself to let you know whether you are ready to go off on your own. And they may or may not resonate with you, but we can talk about it a little bit more. The first reason that I would consider you ready to start your own thing, and this is like pretty personal to myself and my own story, but the first reason that you might be ready to start your own thing is if the job that you have currently is literally impairing your health. Like I remember when I was in my very first job, you know, a 9-to-5 outpatient ortho clinic, that's what it was literally impairing my health. Like I was struggling with like a really, you know, tough depression. I felt like I was in like a pretty negative and down place every single day that I went to work, and that was just really awful. I mean, it got to the point where like, I feel like it's gonna sound dramatic, but almost every day on my lunch break, like I was in the lunchroom crying because I was so miserable. And it wasn't the physical therapy, it wasn't most of my patients. It was just the fact that I felt like I was getting up so early to go and be trapped in a clinic all day long until the sun set and then come home. And I was doing that 4 out of the 5 days of the week. And then during the day, I had just so many patients on my schedule and so much documentation to do that I wasn't really getting the, I guess, like interpersonal interactions that I had really enjoyed previously. And I mean, honestly, I still do. Like one of the things that I really like about being a physical therapist and a business coach too is working with people one-on-one and building relationships with them and giving them a teammate to help them with whatever goals that they're trying to reach. In the place that I was working, it was not possible. And I I would cry before work, during work, after work. I was so sad and just like so completely beaten down all the time. I had really just started getting more into CrossFit at that time as well. And so I had really long days, and I know that lots of people out there do this all the time, you know, like go to a 5 o'clock fitness class and then go and work and come home at like 7 or 8 o'clock. And that is all fine and good, but I know for me, that's not how I wanted to be living my life, where like those are my work days, and then on my off days, I was just recovering from that. Like that felt kind of silly to me, like to spend my life like that and just like really not enjoy like being alive or, you know, having different experiences. I had worked so hard in school and I was so excited to get out into the real world and everything. And I ended up just feeling like a hamster on a wheel kind of, and it never ended and it never changed. It never got better. So mentally, I was just not in a good place. I was having a lot of trouble sleeping or wasn't sleeping enough. My nutrition was okay at best, and it just really started to wear on me after a long period of time, a long time. It was like 2 months. I was like, I can't do this. So anyway, like if that's you, and I know I've talked about it before, but if that is you and you feel like the position that you have right now is really starting to wear you down, that I think is definitely a sign that you are ready to start your own thing, because you know what is good for you and what's not good for you. And if the position that you're in is one that is creating a not so healthy situation, you have the ability to create a situation that works better for you. And I know that there's obviously like a lot that goes into actually making a business, and you might feel like that's not a sign that you're ready, but I really think it is, because it's, you know, your brain, your body telling you that this situation is not healthy for you and you need to look for something else. Okay, and then despite all of that stuff, reason number 2 that I would say that you are ready to start your own thing is that when you do come across opportunities with patients where you get to do the thing that you really like. For me, it was when I had athletes on my schedule and we would like go outside and like run around or kick a soccer ball or play basketball, you know, or do different workouts in the clinic. Like those things made me so incredibly happy. And I just remembered thinking, you know, if I could fill my entire day doing this kind of thing, I would love it. It almost wouldn't even matter what I got paid, because I would be having so much fun every single day. And so like if you find yourself throughout your workday or even just in your day-to-day life doing things where, you know, like I said, kind of like, I don't even care if I get paid doing this. I just want to do it all day, every day. And you have opportunities to do things that make you feel like you get lit up and you're just like loving your life. I think that's a great sign that you're ready to start your own practice or just your own business, doing whatever it is that you really like to do. You know, I definitely think if, you know, you have the right plan and the right dedication and consistency, you can really make a business doing anything, and you have the opportunity to do that. So, you know, like specifically with therapy, if you are given opportunities where you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do this. This is going to be so much fun. And you feel lit up from the inside, I would really encourage you to follow that. Like I said, like for me, like with athletes, that definitely like showed me that I was ready to move on and do my own thing, because I just wanted to work with athletes. It was so much fun, and that's what I wanted to fill all of my time with. And I know, so like the, you know, the first 2 reasons are kind of things that I would say maybe are not like the first things that come to mind when you think about, you know, am I going to be ready to start my own practice? But I think they're really like solid indicators that you're in a position where you need to like move on or really like edit and refine your life so that you are doing the things that really bring you joy. You know, I wouldn't say that those are like the classic like signs that you're ready, but this 3rd reason that you would be ready to start your own practice, I think is a little bit more like along those lines. And the 3rd reason why you might be ready to start your own practice, and you probably are, like if the first 2 are a yes, The third thing is you are open to being decisive. And like the thing that is going to make you a successful business owner, one of the things is your ability to make a decision and take action. You know, whether you are 100% confident in that decision or, you know, you have the right plan, you might not know, but all you can really do is look at the situation that is in front of you and take in the information around you and make the best decision that you can about things, and then choose to take an action. Like, it might be the best decision, it might not, it might be the best action, it might not, but either way, you are going to gain information. And so if you're able to kind of like peel away like the fear of, oh no, like what if I made the wrong decision, or like the fear of what are people gonna think if I decide to do this and take action on this thing and, you know, maybe it doesn't work the way that I want it to. If you can start to like strip away the feelings that are attached to those things and instead look at it from the perspective of, okay, you know, I have option 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do option 1. The first action that I can take is XYZ, go. And you just consider, like, take that action, do the thing, and the only, like, I don't know, maybe like extra thoughts or feelings that you have about it are whether or not this works out and does what I want it to do. I am going to gain information about how it works, whether it was good, not good, and then that information and what I gain from that experience is going to help me continue to make decisions down the road. I think it's something that takes practice, you know, and practice just being like confident in yourself and trusting yourself really, to make a decision and like handle whatever like positive or negative consequences come after that. And I know that like being decisive can also be kind of scary, like to commit to something, and that's why I say it as like you're open to being decisive, you're open to practicing being decisive and test the waters, because as long as you're open to that, you can get better at making better decisions for yourself. Because like I said, over time, the more decisions that you make and the more actions you take, you are only going to gain more knowledge about what's working and what's not. So there are probably a ton of other reasons why you could be ready to start your own practice. And of course, like you might have heard before, and I know I've said it, you're never truly going to feel ready. You really aren't. There's not going to be just one day where you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm ready to be a business owner. You have to start taking tiny actions towards what it is that you want, and you know, like until eventually you hand in your 2 weeks notice to leave your job. It's not gonna happen overnight, but I really firmly believe that like these 3 things, you know, if your job's making you miserable, you know what it is that makes you happy, and you're open to practicing being decisive, I think you're in a really good position to like start something for yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, like that's all one big decision too, and you could always try it out and maybe you don't end up liking it, but at least you'll know, and you know, you won't be regretting it down the road. So let me know what you think, and check out some of the other videos that I have here on the channel about starting your own practice.